in a place where we can get our hips just a little bit higher than our knees. It doesn't mean that our legs need to be crossed. If we're sitting in a chair is just fine. Maybe we can even lean up against the wall if that's available. Your legs could be straight, one could be bent. It doesn't matter at all. And if that comfortable seat is not available, there's always an invitation to go ahead and lie down so that your back body is supported. Wherever you're at, you might decide that your eyes closed is an option this morning. If not closed, you'll just kind of lose focus on whatever it is out in front of you, as though you're looking at nothing. And at least soften the eyes, soften the eyelids. Wherever your shoulders are at, wiggle them, roll them back, roll them down, let them sink away from the ears. And then soften your face. Let the forehead and the cheeks relax. As you sit, your core is engaged, but there's also a softness to your belly. Almost as though you're finding a passive position here. Nothing in you is rigid. Any tension that's held in the body gets to just slip away. If you have not yet brought attention to breath, begin to notice your breath. You might notice whether breath is shallow or deep. Whether it feels like your chest rises and falls or your belly rises and falls. As your body breathes, imagine that your inhale, it sinks you down into your mat or your chair, whatever you're sitting on. And then your exhale, it's as though it comes up from the belly, up through the midline, and it lifts all the way up out of the crown of the head. Your inhale is going to sink you all the way down. And then your exhale lifts you up. Inhaling to sink or to root down. Exhaling to lift up. Your inhale connecting you, rooting you to the earth. Your exhale lifts you off the earth, maybe towards the sky. You're rooting and lifting. And using that breath to move the energy in the body. With the next inhale, we'll bring our palms together. Let the thumbs tuck in at the heart. If you'd like, the chin will bow towards the chest, and find your prayer pose, a place to set an intention. And that intention can be anything you want. It can be something very simple, something as simple as just be here through the class. It could be that you try to remember to feel the breath, or that you honor your body through the practice, and you make sure that you don't push any harder than what your body really is okay with. Whatever it is this morning that your being wants or needs. When your intention is set, and there's certainly not a hurry, but when it's set, you're going to draw your thumbs to your forehead, that spot right between the eyebrows. And then bring your thumbs back to your heart. Once they're at the heart, your hands will just drop to your knees. And you'll let your chin tuck down to your chest. Of course, your eyes can stay closed as long as you wish. Sometimes really nice to just keep our attention more inward. With your chin tucked, feel the back of your neck. Almost like there can be some space between those vertebrae. Your shoulders will relax down. Remember, there's some softness in your belly. With an inhale, allow your head to come back to the middle. And exhale to gently rock it back. Open your throat. Inhaling, your head will come to the middle. Exhaling, the chin will tuck all the way back down to the chest. Again, inhale, head to center. Exhale, rock it back, throat open. Inhaling to center. Exhaling, chin to the chest. Stay there, chin tucked, shoulders soft. And inhale, we'll bring your head to the center. And let's exhale, right ear towards right shoulder. Just hang out here. Let your left shoulder in particular soften. Feel the left side of your neck lengthen. And with that ear dropping towards the shoulder, you're going to let your head slide just a little bit from front to back. And then it's going to twist, like your nose will go up and over towards the left a little, and then back down towards the right. Almost like you're shaking your head no, except your ear is dropping towards the shoulder. And then pause, ear just dropping towards the shoulder. With an inhale, slowly bring your head back to the middle. And let's twist the head to the right, just so we stay with this left side of our neck. Your chin is parallel with the floor. Bring the head back to the center. We'll drop the chin down towards the chest again. Let your shoulders relax. Let your face be soft, your belly soft. With an inhale, the head will come to center. Left ear towards the left shoulder. Your right shoulder in particular, you want to soften it. With your ear dropping towards that shoulder, your head moves a little front to back. And then it twists a bit side to side like you're shaking your head no. And then ears just pause towards the shoulder. Lifting your head back to the center. Take a breath in here at the center and then exhale to twist your head to the left. Next inhale, head is back to the middle. Your exhale takes your chin to your chest. Relax your shoulders. Take a couple big breaths. If you need to adjust your legs, like move the back one to the front, maybe straighten them. Whatever you need to do to make sure you're comfortable just a little bit longer. And inhale, we'll again bring our head to the center. Exhale, rock it back, open your throat. Inhale, head to center. Again, right ear towards the right shoulder. And so now we're after the accessory muscles on that left side, which just means that with our ear dropping towards our shoulder, we're going to turn our gaze down towards our armpit. So you're looking towards your right armpit with the right ear towards the shoulder. And if you pay attention, most of us can probably feel the muscles in the left side of the neck, like towards the back of the neck. Those have to lengthen to allow that. And those are accessory muscles. A lot of the times if we're breathing just in our chest instead of deep breaths, those muscles are having to breathe. Like they're the ones we're using instead of the diaphragm, and they get really tight, really sore. Okay, so you're going to bring your head back towards, it would be neutral, but the ear's still dropping towards the shoulder. Then your gaze is going to move up and over to the right. And so some people will call this like the Mother Mary look. And it still is on the right side of your neck, but now it's more towards the front of your neck. Good. Bring your head back to a neutralish, still with that ear dropping. Then inhale, head to center. Pause for a second. Just feel the difference between left side and right side. And then you'll drop left ear towards left shoulder. First one is to turn the gaze towards that left armpit with the ear still dropping, and it gets the back, the posterior accessory muscles here. Bring the head back to a neutralish, still with the ear dropping. And then your gaze turns up and over to the right. That might be that you're looking up towards the ceiling, like where your wall and your ceiling meet. Lovely. The head comes back to the neutral-ish. Using an inhale, we'll bring our head to the center. Awesome. So eyes opened if they're closed. Let's go ahead and bring our legs out in front of us. And I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see. They're just out. We're doing a little windshield wiper with our legs. So I bring my feet all the way together and knees together, and then just let the knees sway a little side to side, trying to release the hips from sitting for so long. You're moving down then to your forearms, still letting your knees windshield wipers side to side. And you'll notice a different sensation, like the more ground is pressing into the back of the hips, almost like it's massaging them a little bit. And then of course, we're going all the way down to our back bodies with our knees still swaying. Make sure that your shoulders are relaxed here. And a lot of the times when people request hips, what it seems to mean is that our hips are sore. And sometimes that's the back of our hips, other times it's the front, like the muscle that lifts our leg up. And most of the time when they're sore, what they want from us is a little stretching, but mostly releasing, mostly like working that repetition to tell the muscles that it's really okay to relax. So we're going to spend a bit of time with the releasing, with the repetition. So let your knees pause in the middle. Let's bring our right knee in towards our chest. Grab the knee and just give it a gentle hug into you. And maybe it's your pants you grab. It doesn't have to be the knee. It could be the pants like on your thighs. And you're just going to gently pull it to you. Pulled to you. Let that knee rock side to side, like you're moving your thigh bone around in the hip socket. And some of us are going to experience like little catches in here. Maybe even noises. We're going to find places where that leg can move and places where it can't move. Good. Your right hand then is going to reach for your right foot. Your left hand can just drop. And you're going to bring it towards a half of a happy baby, which just means the sole of your foot is towards the ceiling and you've got your foot in your hand, your knee bent. If you don't reach that because of like tight hamstrings, just grab your calf somewhere, grab your pants again. Just pretend that your arms are reaching where they need to be, but they're just not long enough. And so you're using what you've got available. So with that knee bent, your hand holding that foot, you're going to start pushing with the foot and pulling with the hand and activating that right hip, which really just feels like tension. You're creating tension. Good. Take a breath in. With your exhale, bring your hands both back to that right knee. Give it a hug in. Then exhale that foot down to the earth. Your knee will still be bent. And inhale, we'll pull left knee in. And same thing, you've got your hands on your knee. You're letting that knee, it can circle, it can figure eight. You're noticing where that thigh bone catches on the hip socket. Maybe where movement is restricted or not restricted. When you're ready, that left hand is reaching for the left foot to come to your half a happy baby. And the left knee is bent. Again, if you can't reach the foot, grab your shin, grab the back of your thigh, even that knee bent. And you do the same thing. You'd push with your leg and pull with your arm so that you can create resistance or tension in that left hip. Nice. Breath in, breath out. We'll bring that foot down, hands both back to the knee. Give it a hug in. And then release that foot back to the floor as well. We're going to bring our feet so that they're wider than our hips, just a bit wider. And your knees get to fall together. And if that's no sweat, you could walk your feet out a little bit more and keep allowing those knees to fall together. And if you pay attention, there are certain muscles, there are little muscles in your hips that have to lengthen a bit to allow those knees to come in. All right, so with the knees still coming in, you're gonna take your right knee up just a little. Your foot stays on the ground, but your right knee comes up, like straight up and down enough that you can press down towards the middle with your left knee. And it'll lift your left butt up a little bit. Then your right knee comes upright so that your other knee can sink down towards the middle. So right knee up, left knee sinks down towards the middle, left knee up, right knee splits down towards the middle. From side to side. And you don't have to press hard with that knee that's sinking towards the middle, towards the ground. Sometimes even if we just allow it to sink, that's plenty. Feeling the ground press into those muscles across the back of our hips. We'll do one more time on each side. And when we meet, we're going to let both of our knees be falling towards the middle. Your feet will heel toe back so the feet can come all the way together. Your knees fall all the way out and open. Hands to the crest of the hips, just pressing down a bit, applying a little pressure or a gentle massage. Bringing those knees back to the middle. Let's pull the right knee in again towards our torso. Hug it in. This time, option is to engage the core. Lift the shoulders and the head like you're drawing your forehead towards your knee. And you definitely don't have to do this. It's just a way kind of to activate the core. If you'd rather stay more passive and let this just be releasing, then keep the shoulders and the head back down. Good. If you're up and engaged, let's bring the arms out alongside the torso so the belly is having to work to keep us here. Next exhale, you'll bring the hands to the knees if they're not. Your shoulders, your head down. Drop that right foot to the earth and pull the left one in. Give it a hug in. Maybe you're staying here if you're working on lengthening. It's the back of the thigh, the lower back, the back of the hips. If you want the core engaged, you'll engage and lift the shoulders and the head. Maybe even lengthen the arms out alongside your torso. Breath in. Breath out will bring hands to the knees, shoulders head down. Take another breath in. And then exhale to release the foot to the earth. Feet together, let your knees windshield wipers side to side. And as we're windshield wipering, let's bring our arms out to a giant T, just so we can relax our shoulders. Next time your knees are going towards the right, let's let them fall where they will. So they might not fall all the way to the ground, which I would suspect is the case for almost all of us, but you're gonna let them just drop. And once they're dropped, see if you can relax the shoulders a little more. Maybe soften the face. Remembering that gentle yoga is just a way that we're caring for the body. Of course, we build strength when we do any of this, but we're not necessarily here to work out, to get sweaty. We're here to feel good. I know sometimes working out and sweating, it does feel good, but that's a whole different practice. That's not gentle yoga. To get your knees back to the middle, you're going to take the top knee first, let it lead. Both your feet come back or your knees come back to the middle, and they'll drop towards the left. Once they're dropped again, let your shoulders relax, let your face soften. Nice. Coming back to the middle, top knee is your lead, bottom knee follows. Both knees in towards the torso, hands to the knees. You're going to rock just a bit side to side. And then we want to come up so we're back in a seated position. And then we're headed towards cat-cow. So if your knees are okay with being on all fours, you're going to get to all fours. If your knees are not okay, certainly you could have a blanket under there for cushion, or you can do this in a seated position. And so I'm going to demonstrate seated to start, and then I might join those of you that are on all fours. But either way, you're getting yourself situated. Hands under our shoulders, knees under our hips if we're on all fours. If we're seated, hands are on our knees, and our spine, either place, we're lengthening the spine and getting our shoulders away from our ears. All of us will engage our core with an inhale. With the exhale, we tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, let the back arch. Inhaling, tailbone lifts, throat collarbone opens, the gaze moves up. Exhaling, tailbone tucks, chin tucks, back arches. Inhaling, tailbone lifts, throat collarbone opens. Exhale to come back to your cat. Inhale forward to your cow. We're all going to go back and forth. Some of us like to move really slow here, almost like we can feel the vertebra as they come towards each other, as they move away from each other. I know a couple of you, though, like to move faster in this, and that's totally cool. You just need to breathe faster. Our breath and our practice always initiates the movement. And that's just a tool for connecting that mind and body, for making sure that when we do something, we do it very intentionally. So let's do one more breath in whatever cat-cow version we're doing. And then come back to all fours or to a seated position. If we are on all fours, let's go ahead and move it back so we're just seated. Once seated, you're going to spread those legs out as wide as they go. With them as wide as they go, point your toes towards the ceiling and then pull them in towards your shin and get your core engaged so you can sit like straight up and down. And then let's close our eyes, feel the breath, and just for whatever reason your hips are not relaxed here, see if you can just release. It's right in the crest of your hips. It's your hip flexors and the muscles right across the back of your hips. Almost like you're just trying to soften there. Remember that breath we began with, where the inhale, it sinks us down, and then the exhale lifts us up. Okay, so keeping your spine in that, it's a neutral position, which just means you have a lumbar curve. It means your shoulders are back and down and you have like that cervical curve in your neck. You're going to keep all that and see what happens if you try to hinge at the hips. And most of us don't have to hinge far before we've got all kinds of sensation in those hips. Remember, one of the greatest things we can learn from yoga is to pause at the very first point at which we feel sensation. And then to check in with that body and almost ask it, like, is it okay for me to push a little farther, to go a little deeper? And maybe body says yes, maybe body says no. You'll take one more breath. With an inhale, bring your torso back up so you're upright again. Help your legs to bring them back together. Once they're together, you're going to bend your right knee. Use your right knee as your little hook to hold you up. We're finding a twist. It'll be to the right. If the spine is uber twisty, of course, you can put that right foot over the left. But we want to be up nice and tall before we twist. Our right hand will come behind our hip. And we'll use an exhale to turn those shoulders towards the right. As you twist, visualize your spine as though just the neck and the mid and upper spine are twisting. Your lower back is staying completely steady. Breath in. Breath out's gonna untwist you. Straighten that right leg, pull in the left, and same thing, maybe you want that left leg over, but regardless, you're up nice and tall. When you're ready, your left hand behind your hip, you take your breath in and you use your exhale to twist. Nice, breath in. Breath out will bring you back. Both legs straight. Let's get to staff pose. So it's both legs straight, sitting up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders back and bring the hands to the side. With an inhale, you're just gonna lift your hands up. Then exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward. Inhaling, you'll sit back up, nice and long in the spine. Roll the shoulders back and down with your exhale. Inhale, arms are up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward. Inhale to unhinge or roll the spine up. Your exhale will roll those shoulders up, back, and down, and then inhale, lift them again. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold over. You could even tuck your chin in. Then inhale, roll yourself up, head up, exhaling, shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, we're gonna fold again, and we're gonna stay in this fold. So chin tucked in. Can let the back body bend. Nice big breaths. And inhale is gonna lift your torso up. Kicking those feet to the side or rolling over the knees. Let's come around and let's make it to all fours, just so we can lift from all fours into down dog. So toes will tuck, inhale, engage, exhale, lift up and back. And often in down dog, we want our feet to be pedaling. If high down dog isn't a good option, knees could bend. On the floor, right under your hips is where the knees will be. The hands are forward, ears between the upper arms. If that's not good on your knees, the other option would be to go ahead and stand up and use like your couch, use a chair, so that you can just bring the torso down so it's a little lower than your hips. And in our down dog, yes, feet can stay pedaling, but hips might also move a little side to side. Maybe a leg lift, whatever you want to do here to just kind of lengthen everything. Nice big breath. When you need to come down and take a break, you're more than welcome to do that. Good, let's do one more breath. And then walk either the hands to the feet to the hands, but you'll meet in forward fold, the knees bent, the chin tucked in, the shoulders get to totally soften here. And sometimes it feels really nice to grab the elbows. Just kind of help the shoulders know that it's okay for them to relax. Next inhale, slide yourself halfway up, find your flat back. So hands are either at the shins or at the thighs, but your elbows are hugged in towards your torso. And you're just trying to create like a parallel torso, parallel with the floor. Inhale, with your exhale, go ahead and come all the way back down. Bending the knees a ton. Let's bring our arms out like a giant T. Unhinge the hips so you can lift up and reach up. Exhaling, your hands will come together and they'll come back down to heart. Nice. If you're at the back of your mat, well, let's start at the back. So if you're at the front, come towards the back. And let's just do two sun salutations. Our feet start under our hips. If sun salutations are not what you're gonna do, you'll do a half sun salutation. And so I'm gonna talk both, but demonstrate the half. So feet are under our hips, get nice and tall, roll the shoulders back and down, soften the face, reach to the crown of the head. With an inhale, everybody's arms will lift up, lengthening towards the ceiling. Exhale, we bend the knees, we hinge the hips, find our forward fold. Inhale to come halfway. It's a flat back. Exhale, fold. For your full sun salutation, you're going to walk your hands forward, finding your plank, holding plank. Those of us that are doing half, we're going to come all the way up to standing, our arms high. At plank, you're going to take a breath in, shift your weight forward, and exhale to the floor. Those of us standing, we're going to exhale to the right. Good. Those of you that are on the floor, use an inhale, come up to cobra. Standing will come upright. Our exhale takes us to down dog or to the left. Good. Inhaling our feet or our hands come back to our feet. So we're in forward fold. Those of us that are standing, we're going to exhale and come back down to forward fold. Tuck our chin in. Inhale halfway, flat back for everybody. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, arms out like wings, all the way up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Again, inhale up. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge the hips, find your forward fold. Inhale halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold. Coming to plank or all the way back up if we're doing half. Good. Holding your plank, feeling your core engaged. When you're ready, it's your exhale that lowers you to the earth or slides us standing people to the right. Good. Inhale to cobra or standing straight up. Exhaling to down dog or to the left. Good. We're going to inhale, feet towards the hands. Exhaling, we're all meeting in forward fold, chin tucked in. Inhale halfway, it's a flat back. And exhale, everybody's in forward fold, chin tucked in, shoulders relaxed. We need to walk our feet forward or backward, or our hands forward enough that we can drop the knees back to the earth. And let's move our knees out and apart a little so we can send our butt back towards our heels and find a child's pose. And if child's pose isn't for you, you're just going to be on the floor. We're staying on the floor. So you might just come back down and find a seated pose and close your eyes for a sec. But this is a resting pose. It's something for our nervous system. In terms of calming it, of course, child's pose stretches the back of your hips. Can be a place where you let the shoulders relax and soften. Also a great place to remind yourself of your intention. Why are you here this morning? What is it that that body or mind or spirit is in need of today? It's beautiful outside. The warmth, the birds singing. Maybe you let that just move into your body here, into your mind, and feel the aliveness of this day. If you're in child's pose, you're going to slowly let those arms come forward. With an inhale, you'll pull yourself to tabletop, crawl forward on your mat so we can come back to a seated position. Good, and once in our seated position, we're going to Straighten those legs out again. Come back to staff pose. And then bring the arms out beside us. We're going to inhale, lift them to the ceiling. And this time, to come to our back, our tailbone is going to tuck, our chin is going to tuck. Maybe our knees can bend if our lower back is kind of sensitive or picky, but you're going to roll yourself down towards your mat like you're coming down vertebra by vertebra. When you get down, those arms will lengthen alongside your ears. And let's just stretch. Get the arms as long as they can get the legs as long as they can get. And then spread the legs out, spread the arms out, and imagine your body as a giant star. And we're going to do a little bit of diagonal stretching, which just means that you're going to reach through your right fingertips, right arm, right torso, but then it's going to cross your body and reach out your left leg, left toes. You're stretching diagonally. We take a breath in and then relax. So left arm, fingers, and right feet or foot stretch diagonally. Take a breath in and then exhale, soften. You'll bring your feet back so they're hip distance apart. Bend the knees. Maybe you need to retuck the tailbone or just kind of lift the butt up a little and bring it down towards your feet. Your arms are still up kind of alongside your ears. Let's get the hands into fists. So squeeze them like crazy, tight as they can be. And then lengthen those fingers out. Reach your fingers out as long as they can go. All 5 of them, like you're reaching through the fingertips. Squeeze them in again, tight as they can be. And then stretch them out. And this is engaged, like you're reaching through those fingers. And then you'll soften hands, soften arms. Bring the arms down so they're more of like a T, just so your shoulders can relax a little bit. And let's come back to the hips. So your knees are going to be bent. And a lot of you know this sequence. Those of you that don't, it's hard to learn it talking, but bear with me. I'll try my darndest to explain it in a way that you know what we're doing. So we start just with knees bent. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the pelvis like we would in cat-cow. So that just means that your tailbone tucks a little between your legs. And then your tailbone rocks back and down into your mat. It tucks between the legs and it rocks back and down to your mat. Tucking between the legs, you're just going back and forth, rotating your pelvis. And for me, what happens is like my lower back lifts off the ground a little bit, but I'm not engaging really anything to do this. It's super subtle. And obviously what that does is it makes the ground push into those muscles back there. So rocking front to back with the pelvis. We then want to rock side to side. And so it would just mean that your right hip, it maybe rocks up off the ground, I don't know, 1 inch, 2 inches, then rocks down, other hip rocks up, rocks down, and your knees sway a little, but literally just a little. If your knees are gonna like be purposeful, instead of swaying, it's like the knee with the hip that's lifting, that knee pushes forward actually, instead of move side to side. And again, hardly any muscle engagement. You just want the repetition to tell those hips that they can relax. And sometimes we put in a couple of like the cat-cow movement. We go back to tucking tailbone, pressing it back and down into your mat, and then rocking side to side a few times. You know, whatever variation of those two feels good for your lower back and your hips. The third part of the sequence then is they're called hip hikers, which your hips stay on the ground, like nothing lifts off the ground but your right hip. You'll engage just enough that it's like you can slide your right hip up towards your shoulder a little and then slide it down. Your left hip slides up and slides down. Right hip slides up, slides down, and you go from side to side. It's kind of maybe like a move that you would do if you were trying to hula. But as much as you can stay relaxed as you do this, the more relaxed, the better. And again, it's repetition. So you're doing it over and over and over. Maybe as you continue, you want to do a few hip rocks again, or you want to do that cat-cow a couple more times. Any variation of the three of those moves. The fourth part of the sequence then is to let the knees drop all the way over towards the right. And wherever they drop is fine. Again, they're not going to land on the floor, most of us. Our top knee is going to be our leader. It's like we're swaying these knees from side to side, but we always want the top knee to lead so there's not too much of a pull on the lower back. So you'll let your top knee move up towards the middle. Your feet stay on the ground. As your top knee drops out and over to the left, your legs are open for just a sec, but your bottom knee will catch and both of your knees will land towards the left. Top knee is your lead. It'll catch that bottom leg. That knee will come to the middle and over to the right. Top knee is your lead. Legs open for a sec. It catches the bottom one and both knees land to your left. And you just take your time side to side. If you want to pause any part of this, like legs open or legs on one side or another, more than welcome to do whatever you need to do. And just remembering when hips are achy, when they're tight, when they're sore. A lot of the times it's the releases that the body is wanting, not even really the stretching, just the repetition to tell those muscles that they can relax. If there's other releases that you know your body really appreciates, go ahead and go there. Some suggestions might just would be wind relievers. So it would be that right knee in towards the chest again. Hands hold it in and you just hug it gently in. You would do both sides. Other people, they like that happy baby that we began with. We did a happy baby. You could do a half, you could do a whole. Maybe both knees come in towards the torso, rocking a little side to side. When you feel like your body is okay to go ahead and stretch all the way out, you'll lengthen those legs out. And they're at least as wide as the hips. And you let your feet roll out, kind of fall or even flop open. Wiggle the shoulders, maybe tuck the shoulder blades so you can relax the shoulders. And then close the eyes. This is our corpse pose, or what's known as Shavasana. It's our resting pose. If you get here and you find that your lower back is not going to tolerate it, just bend your knees. So we're going to stay here for several minutes. Your only intention here physically is to let the body relax. Maybe you start with your face and you let your face soften. Let your jaw release. Crown of your head and back of your head relax. Down through your neck, the front and back of it. Into your shoulders. Your upper arms, your elbows. Lower arms, clear down to your hands. Even the fingers. Awareness might go back to the chest so you can soften and relax the chest. Your belly. Soften and relax your back body. Relax your butt, your hips, your thighs, front and back, your knees, your shins, and your calves. Clear down to your feet. That whole body relaxed. Your whole body's soft. For most of us, when body is still, the mind starts moving. If that's the case, acknowledge that it's so. And then just relax the body a little more. Almost like you're redirecting that mind back to the body. Maybe even start with the head again and re-relax piece by piece, part by part. Keeping that mind connected with the body. Every exhale is an opportunity for your body to relax just a little bit more. To soften. Maybe even to let the body feel heavier. You'll shift your awareness from your body to your breath. First, just feeling the natural rhythm, the way your body breathes. You don't have to tell it to breathe, it just breathes. And so we acknowledge that natural rhythm, the body just breathing. Perhaps there's a feeling of gratitude this morning. Gratitude that you're alive. That your body that has the ability to move. It's still the container in which you dwell. And so there's gratitude for that. Even if there's things it can't do, even if it's not always healthy, it's still holding you for now. Awareness back to breath then. And let's purposely lengthen our breath so that we take a deep breath in and let it all the way out. Inhaling, Fill yourself all the way up. And exhale, empty all the way out. One more purposeful breath. Your fingers and your toes then will wiggle and move. Your ankles and your wrists might roll around, or your head might move. When you're ready to roll to the side, you'll bend your knees, let your hips shift. As your knees fall one way or another, your body can roll to the side. A breath or two on the side, and then the hands push you back up, back to a seated position. And when you get to your seated position, you're going to reclose the eyes, but we'll bring our attention back to our hands. And we'll just finger by finger, you're going to just move each finger, kind of bring it back towards your arm. Just a little bit of attention to those hands again that maybe are digging in the garden. If they're not digging in the garden, maybe they've been working like computer work. These hands that serve us in so many ways. And when you feel like the hands have just moved or stretched or even just been energized a little, you're going to bring the hands together, tuck the thumbs at the heart. Last place in which we can bow the head. And again, this moment is a moment for gratitude. And it can be gratitude for anything. Gratitude for everything. The very last thing that we share is the term namaste, which just means the spirit in me, or the energy in me honors the energy in you. So namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you much.